Albert Pujols, Juan Uribe get together on a 67-degree evening in Southern California as we welcome you to Angel Stadium for the second of a three-game weekend series, the Angels and the Indians. Good evening, everybody, on a perfect night for baseball. Kenny Albert along with Mark Gubicza. Indians won the series opener last night 6-2, and tonight Cleveland will send the 25-year-old right-hander Trevor Bauer to the mound, coming off a 10-strikeout performance in his last start.
Yeah, Ken, he's thrown the ball very well in the month of June, 1-0 with an ERA 2.45. He's thrown the ball well against the Angels in his career. Also, going back to last season, we had a very good game back on August 28th. Reason why? Really good command of his fastball. His changeup was good, slider was there, his curveball, command, excellent form. And the thing is, for him, if he doesn't rely too much on all his pitches, he can be very good. 2-0 with a 2.45 against the Angels in his career. He had 7 punch-outs, a number of them looking, so that's the big key for him. Go out, attack with that fastball. If he does, he's going to be very good tonight.
So the Indians look to make it 2 in a row over the Angels. Angels have lost 5 straight. They hope Mike Trout can help end the streak tonight.
Well, Mike Trout's got to be Mike Trout for them to be able to be successful. The Angels tonight leads the team in home runs and RBIs, plays some outstanding defense, leads the team in stolen bases. Also, the big thing for Mike Trout is all about that timing mechanism, getting that foot down, clearing the hips, and then having that path go through there and squaring up the baseball so well. Very quick, short, compact swing. That's why it's difficult to try to sneak fastballs by him, whether it's inside or outside. But also, defensively, he can get back on the baseball as well as anybody in the game. That quick first step, his leaping ability, mentioned his ability to steal some bases, and his numbers career-wise in the month of June. Outstanding, 343 career hitter in the month of June. Only 2 players in the last 70 years higher average than that. Jackie Robinson, Tony Gwynn. He's that type of special player.
Some pretty good company. The batting orders and the opening pitch coming up. Indians and Angels next on FS1. Angels Stadium as the Angels take the field for the second of this three-game weekend series with the first place Cleveland Indians. Matt Shoemaker heads to the mound, getting set to make his 12th start of the season. Record of 3-7, 1-0 lifetime in 2 career starts against the Indians. Cleveland with a record of 34-26. Rajai Davis will lead off, followed by Jason Kipnis. Jose Ramirez bats third. The ex-Angel Mike Napoli in the cleanup spot. Then Carlos Santana. Lonnie Chisenhall bats sixth. Bottom of the order, Juan Uribe, Tyler Naquin, and Chris Jimenez. A night off for Francisco Lindor. Shoemaker has lost his last 2 starts, Mark, but he's pitched a lot better than he did back in April.
He's throwing the ball very, very well for the Angels of late. His fastball is 89-94. Slider curve, split finger fastball, and his split finger fastball has been outstanding. And you talk about a 4-start span here for Shoemaker. Most strikeouts without a walk. Schilling had 39 of them back in 2002. Shoemaker, 37 strikeouts in that 4-start span with no walks. Ferguson Jenkins, the Hall of Famer, Curt Schilling, and also the Hall of Famer Pedro Martinez did back in 2000.
Incredible numbers. Defensively for the Angels, Pujols, Piatella, Petit, Escobar around the infield. Cunningham makes his Angels debut, recalled earlier today. The former Atlanta Brave, Trout in center, Calhoun in right, and the battery of Shoemaker and Bandy.
And with Shoemaker, most time fly ball type pitcher, Cole Calhoun out in right field became the first right fielder to ever win a Gold Glove for the Angels. He was outstanding last year, plus an accurate throwing arm out in right field.
So Rajai Davis will lead off for the Indians. He was 1 for 5 with a double last night. Cleveland scored all 6 of their runs over the first 2 innings.
A lot of speed at the top of the order for Cleveland. Rajai Davis has really carved out a very good career, playing a number of outfield positions, but he can run and he has occasional power also.
Davis, Kipnis, Ramirez for the Indians here in the top of the first, and we are underway as Davis takes a called strike, 0-1. The 0-1 from Shoemaker. Fouled back just underneath our broadcast booth.
I told you, Kenny, we got to be active in here now. A lot of foul balls coming our way.
We are ready.
Yes, indeed.
0-2 on Davis with Kipnis waiting on deck. One ball, 2 strikes.
And that's the one pitch for Shoemaker has been very effective for him of late. His split finger fastball. He could throw it for strikes early in the count, but that's his swing and miss pitch when he's ahead of the count.
Now the 1-2 on the ground to the right side. Shoemaker covering. Out at first is Davis, 1 away. You talked about the speed. Davis, 336 career stolen bases, 5th among active players, but Shoemaker beats him to the bag.
Yeah, and that forced Albert Pujols to have a little bit more on that throw than normal. As you try to lead your pitcher towards the base, you don't want to have to reach back. You want to lead him to the base and trust that the pitcher will be there to have his foot on the base. And Davis, as always, runs down that line hard. Very close play, but a nice play by Pujols, 2-time Gold Glove winner.
So with 1 away, here's Jason Kipnis, who had 3 hits in last night's game, drove in a run. Kipnis batting .271. An all-star last season for the 2nd time in his career. Escobar and on the grass at third as Kipnis takes a called strike, 0-1. Fastball in for strike 2 from Shoemaker.
Yeah, Kipnis has always been very patient at the plate. When you talk about percentage of swing at the first pitch, the 6.1% of the time does he swing at that first pitch. Now behind the count, 0-2, but comfortable behind in the count.
Kipnis strikes out on 3 pitches, 2 away.
And here's tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Ford. The keys for Cleveland, obviously, it's always going to come down to is Mike Napoli. What he's been able to do in his career against the Angels. He must continue to clip the Angels' wings. And for the Angels, that top of the order success with Escobar, Calhoun, and Trout. Napoli, a lot of career home runs in big moments against the Angels since leaving the Angels a few years back.
Ball 1 to Jose Ramirez, making his second start at shortstop this season. A night off for Francisco Lindor, who's having a terrific season for the Indians.
He's a very special player, great with the glove. You just love his smile every time he's out on the field, and very clutch as far as using the whole field, swinging the bat.
Pop foul, 2-1. Indians with a 3.5 game lead in the American League Central. Angels 11 back in the West.
Something Mike Scioscia's not used to seeing when he looks at the team's record.
Called strike 3. A 12-pitch first with 2 strikeouts for Matt Shoemaker. In Anaheim, the Angels with a record of 26-35. Escobar, Calhoun, and Trout, followed by Pujols, Marte, and Cunningham, then Giavotella, Bandy, and Petit. Trevor Bauer delivers. First pitch off the bat of Escobar into the glove of Naquin for out number 1. The 25-year-old right-hander Trevor Bauer, record of 4-2 and 8 starts this season. Pitched out of the bullpen to start the season. 6 relief appearances. What a career high 11 games last year.
Yeah, he's always has had good stuff, Mike. You know, the things you look for, my go-tos for him to be successful. Settle on a couple of those pitches. He has 5 or 6, settle on a few, and finish off the hitters with that very good breaking ball, whether it's a slider or curveball.
1 pitch, 1 out. Here's Cole Calhoun, working on a 4-game hit streak. Has gone deep 3 times in his last 8 games. Fair ball. Napoli by himself for out number 2. So 3 pitches, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning as Mike Trout steps to the plate.
Yeah, the one thing about Trout, he doesn't swing at the first pitch a whole lot, but when you see a pitcher, especially around the strike zone that we've seen early on for Trevor Bauer, and he's been pretty good over the last couple starts in the month of June, he can get aggressive on that first pitch. The Bauer stuff, very good fastballs, 91 to 95, a slider, cut fastball, curveball, changeup, occasional split finger fastball, though he hasn't thrown that this year.
Trout lifetime against Bauer, 1 for 3 with 4 walks. Takes ball 1.
Well, you can see that ERA in the month of June. Opponent's batting average against 173. He's battling between going in the bullpen and starting. Always had great stuff. It's a matter of him to settle in. When I talked about pitches, not throwing too many of those pitches, settle on a few of them to be successful.
He's pitching here at Angel Stadium for the first time. Grew up in the Los Angeles area, attended UCLA. He has pitched once at Dodger Stadium in his major league career. Foul back to the screen, 2-2.
He went to Hart High School in Santa Clarita. A number of good players over the year, major leaguers, went to Hart High School in Santa Clarita, including way back, Bob Walk went there back in the day.
Todd Zeal, James Shields, Kevin Millar.
That's a pretty good team they could field. Pretty good alumni game they could have at Hart High School.
They would do well.
Yes.
The 2-2, called strike 3. A 1-2-3 on 9 pitches here in the bottom of the first for Trevor Bauer. At the top of the second inning, Matt Shoemaker retired the Indians in order. In the first, he struck out 2 as Napoli rips one foul back behind third. Mark, you mentioned his terrific career numbers since leaving the Angels. He has the #1 home run rate all time against the Angels. 1 home run every 10.4 at bats.
It's been amazing for Napoli against the Angels, and it hasn't been one where his club is down 6-0 and it's a home run. These are always meaningful home runs. Great power, especially what you're seeing from pitchers against him this year. They try to go upstairs, climb the ladder, but he is super quick when it's below those letters.
Napoli leads the Indians in home runs with 14, runs batted in with 44. One for 3 with a double and an RBI last night in the Indians' 6-2 victory. Now 2-2.
Again, in this game between Napoli and Mike Trout, two of the guys that most patient, see a lot of pitches per plate appearance. Number 1 and number 2 in baseball. Napoli number 1 as far as seeing a lot of pitches.
Strikeout number 3 for Shoemaker. He now has 42 strikeouts since his last walk.
It's amazing what he has done. And in the beginning part of the year, he was struggling with the home run ball, but he's really made a real good adjustment with the hip turn. And that's been the thing for him. He has a better hip turn, better balance over the pitching rubber. It allows him to drive towards the plate. And he's thrown a ton of strikes, and he can elevate the fastball. He's picked up about 2 or 3 miles per hour by having that hip turn to allow him to have a little bit more body strength from that lower part of his body to drive to home. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, swing and miss.
So with one away, here's Carlos Santana, who is 6th in the league in walks. Shoemaker has now gone 35 innings since walking a batter, but falls behind 2-0 to Santana.
Yeah, you don't see that too often, Kenny. He's the guy that throws a little over 70%, 70.6% first pitch strikes.
2-1.
But he was throwing a lot of strikes earlier in the season, but they weren't effective strikes. They were making mistakes, but he throws a lot of split finger fastballs first pitch for strikes, and that has elevated his fastball to another spot because it's better at 92, 94.
Drill to center, Trout going back, unable to make the catch. Santana in at second with a stand-up double.
Yeah, Mike's going to look up there, Trout up at the board to see exactly what happened. The most difficult play for a center fielder is that one hit right over your head, and a slight hesitation off the bat, hit well by Santana, and then tries to leap up and make the play, and just over his glove, Santana settles in the scoring position with his 11th double of the season. But it was all about that first step he took, not reading it well because it was hit right over his head.
First base runner for either team tonight. A one-out double off the bat of Santana. Here's Lonnie Chisenhall. 2 for 5 with a home run lifetime against Shoemaker.
Cleveland in that game last night with runners in scoring position against the Angels were 3 for 6. And you look at their lineup, Cleveland, you're thinking, yeah, they have some good hitters in there, but not at the lineup where you would think they'd be scoring the amount of runs they've done, and they've done a really good job. And you got to credit Terry Francona for really mixing and matching with this lineup. Guys knowing the roles and really feeling good about it.
Nothing in 2 on Chisenhall. Mark, for the Indians, this 3.5 game lead is their biggest lead this far into the season since 2007.
And I tell you, got to give a lot of credit to Terry Francona. He knew he had a great pitching staff coming there, starting staff, but getting his guys the most out of his everyday players, especially when you think about in this division where you have the world champs, the reigning world champs in Kansas City. The White Sox did a lot of good things. The same thing with the Tigers.
And the Indians have gone 18-7 against their division, 6-1 against the Royals this season.
This great starting pitching. Corey Kluber threw a complete game last night. Tomlin, Salazar, so many good arms in that rotation. Really can shorten up a game for a manager.
The 1-2 to Chisenhall. Slice to left. This is Cunningham for out number 2. Thursday, the greatest golfers in the world converge on the historic Oakmont Country Club for the 116th U.S. Open Championship. Live coverage begins Thursday on FS1 continues through the final round next Sunday on Fox, or you can watch the entire tournament live on Fox Sports Go. Just outside Pittsburgh.
Love that tournament. U.S. Open's always the most difficult golf courses. The rough, not a whole lot of fun to be in that. And the greens, lightning fast.
U.S. Open returning to Arnold Palmer's home area. Here's Juan Uribe. Uribe playing in his 1800th Major League game tonight. 10th among active players to reach that mark.
And speaking of winners, too, a world champ with the White Sox and the Giants, World Series with the Mets, in the playoffs with the Dodgers, you name it, he's been to the postseason.
And no matter where he goes, it sounds like he's always such a great influence in the clubhouse.
No doubt, what a leader he is. He still has that good power, as you can see there. He's a little bit quick on that. He cheats on pitches, especially on the inner half of the plate with that quick bat that he has. But he's a leader amongst his teammates. Plays hard, whether it was shortstop in the beginning, now third base. Good throwing arm, but just a great guy to be around. And again, when you talk about big moments, that's the kind of guy you want to listen to if you're a young player. Guys like Uribe.
Playing on his 7th team, including 3 last year. Dodgers, the Braves, and the Mets. Santana, the runner on second with 2 outs. The 0-2 from Shoemaker to Uribe. He strikes him out. That's strikeout number 4 over the first 2 innings for Matt Shoemaker. Second inning, scoreless in Anaheim as Albert Pujols leads off against Trevor Bauer. Pujols 2 for 7 lifetime against Bauer. Middle of the order for the Angels, Pujols, Marte, and Cunningham. Pujols, no hits in his last 9 at-bats. 1-1.
That's the thing that's been special about Bauer now, be able to get back into a count through a little cut fastball on a fastball count. Albert, just one home run away from tying the great late Harmon Killebrew in the all-time list.
First base runner for the Angels as Pujols singles to right center.
And that's the thing with the shift on, and Cleveland doesn't do that a lot as far as shifting. They're right in the middle of the pack, 373 shifts, about 14th for Terry Francona's club, but Albert Pujols gets a ground ball through that vacated spot on that right side of the infield.
Leadoff man on for the Angels here in the second, as Jeffrey Marte steps to the plate. Angels designated hitter tonight, batting .333 in 12 games. Played in 33 games for the Tigers last season. And Marte takes high, ball one.
Yeah, generally a very aggressive hitter, especially first pitch fastball, an all-speed pitch upstairs by Bauer. Again, both teams with all these scouting reports you get nowadays know every hitter's tendency, especially certain pitches they will look for early in counts.
Fouled off to the right side, now 1-1. We mentioned Trevor Bauer grew up in the Los Angeles area, and one of the pitchers he has patterned his delivery after will be making another start tomorrow for the Angels AAA affiliate in Salt Lake, and that's Tim Lincecum.
And it looks like he'd be scheduled to make his debut as an Angel up in Oakland, whether it's Friday or Saturday. Very similar as far as the way they deliver the baseball. Guys that really utilize the lower part of their body towards the drive towards the plate to maximize their arm strength. Not necessarily big guys, but good fastballs from them because they use that lower part of their body so well. And if you're going to like somebody or idolize somebody, Tim Lincecum certainly got 2 Cy Youngs, 3-time world champion.
Two and two.
And when you look at this, Tim Lincecum on the left, now both, and then you got Trevor Bauer, the way they drive towards the plate. A little longer arm motion for Lincecum, but the same type of delivery, utilizing that lower part of the body, driving off that pitching rubber to maximize that arm strength.
Two and two on Marte with Cunningham waiting on deck. Pujols a leadoff single here in the bottom of the second inning. Another foul off to the left side.
One thing about Bauer also, he will pitch inside very effectively. He had a 93-mile-an-hour fastball inside. Very interesting to watch him as he prepares to go to the bullpen before he starts the game. A routine he's kept from high school through UCLA, throughout his entire major league career, as far as long tossing, a lot of extra work before he gets to the mound down in the bullpen to warm up to get into the game.
Ground ball to the shortstop, Ramirez. And the Indians turn 2. 6-4-3 double play.
Yeah, talking about that routine that Trevor Bauer does each and every start. He does his whole routine as far as this bar right here he does there to be able to strengthen up that shoulder, to keep the back of the shoulder first and foremost strong, and then working that for the wrist. That's for the breaking ball, and then gets into that long toss routine, which is big as far as his preparation to get ready each and every game. A lot of throwing before he goes to the mound. Part of that Alan Jaeger program as far as long tossing, band work. Been very effective for him for a number of years.
Todd Cunningham first at bat as an Angel. Long run for Ramirez. He makes the catch in foul territory to end the inning. Base hit on a beautiful evening in Southern California. Indians with a 6-2 victory last night. Top of the third, Tyler Naquin to face Matt Shoemaker, who has struck out 4 over the first 2 innings. Naquin batting .325. He's gone deep 4 times, Mark, in his last 7 games. In the minor leagues, 1 home run every 62 at-bats.
Yeah, it's amazing what he's done. You can see where his hands are located right there. He's looking for something on the inner half of the plate to turn on. Again, when you're looking in, though, but if you get a fastball in on the hands, it's very difficult to turn on. He's trying to get those hips open and be able to get the barrel of the bat on the baseball to turn on, to create that ability to hit the ball out now.
Angels shift defensively against Naquin. The 0-2, low and inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now the Angels, on the other hand, they shift quite a bit. They're at 6th in Major League Baseball as far as putting a shift on, 539 times. Last year for Mike Socha's club, around 15th in baseball as far as putting a shift on.
Into the shift, Naquin is retired.
Again, when you put those shifts on, you're really required as a pitcher to pitch into that shift. And sometimes pitchers really are not comfortable. I remember talking to Clayton Kershaw when he was the beginning part of the year. He didn't want the Dodgers putting the shift on when he was on the mound. And the way he throws, I don't even know if you need anybody out in the field, let alone put a shift on.
How would you have felt about it?
You know what? I'm not a giant fan of it. I mean, I just rather have my shortstop and second baseman playing in the hole, depending if it's a right-hand or left-handed batter. I was a sinker ball, a ground ball pitcher. And if I was running a fastball away against a left-handed batter, there's a good chance they're going to hit it to that left side of the infield with 3 guys on the right side. That's one of those hits you give up and you're not real happy about because you made a good pitch.
Up the middle, off the bat of Jimenez. Good job by Shoemaker to get out of the way. And Jimenez is retired for out number 2. Play Ball is MLB's initiative to inspire all forms of baseball and softball participation, making play opportunities available and fun for everyone. To learn more, go to playball.org. 2 up, 2 down here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Here's Rajay Davis, who grounded out to the first baseman Albert Pujols. His first time up.
Davis always been aggressive on that first pitch fastball. Takes that one, especially because what they're seeing now from Shoemaker, he's able to throw his split finger fastball for a first pitch strike.
Nothing in 2.
That's 7th time in this game already for Shoemaker to be ahead of the count 0-2. When you talk about a contrast as far as pitchers, Shoemaker, a free agent out of Eastern Michigan, and then you got Trevor Bauer, a #1 draft pick.
Bauer selected 3rd overall back in 2011 by the Diamondbacks. A 1-2 from Shoemaker. Hit hard to the third baseman Escobar. He fires across away from Pujols. So Davis on his way to second. Runner in scoring position with 2 outs for the Indians following the 11th error committed by Escobar this season.
And that baseball right at him quickly, and it seemed like whenever Escobar has some time, when he gathers in that crow hop to throw the first base, that's when he drops his elbow and the baseball sails away from Pujols at first base. There's no doubting what he has done at the plate for the Angels, but defensively, especially on the throws, not the range, it's been throws that's really hurt him this year with 11 errors.
So now Kipnis, who struck out back in the first inning. A 1-0. In for a called strike, 1-1.
And one thing you always got to keep in mind when you think you're through an inning as a pitcher, all of a sudden you have a man in scoring position, but it's those extra pitches you end up throwing. Especially when you know the other guy on the other side is throwing the ball very well too, so every single pitch you make at this point is a stressful one.
Davis back in.
Boy, but he might Mike Scioscia to check that one out as far as potentially catching that ball and applying a tag and getting Davis back at the base. You wonder if he ever even got any part of the base at all. Certainly don't look much of the base, and it might be something they're going to check that one out. And the Angels lead baseball as far as pickoffs this year. 15 of them coming into the game. And I think Gregorio Batiste is right. I don't know if Davis ever gets or even touches the base at any point. And he's still not on the base. Now it's just a matter of if Batiste applied a tag at all during that whole process. If he did, there's no doubt it's going to be an out. It would be reverse of the call. Boy, former second baseman Bobby Grich was always really good as far as blocking that base at second. Pickoffs, he would just drop that knee right at the base, and you had to go through him to get back to the base. Same thing happened there with Davis trying to get back against Batiste.
So the play is under review. It did not look to us like Davis got the foot back to the bag.
At least not for a while did he get back there. It was a block of the base by Batiste on the throw from Shoemaker. Eventually could be a big play for either team, considering it with Kipnis at the plate, a very good run producer for Cleveland. And if Shoemaker's able to get that pickoff and complete that pickoff, then like Socialist Club can back in to swing in the bat in the bottom of the third.
It will either be inning over or Kipnis at the plate with a count of 1-1 with the runner in scoring position.
And for me, the reason why this is taking long, did Petit ever tag Davis? Now, he certainly never got back to the base for a while, and then he finally got his foot back there, but was there a tag ever applied? And there's different angles for them to see back in New York if the tag was ever applied before finally getting his foot on the base. Didn't seem like there was a tag there. And then finally now the foot on the base. See if this angle right here shows that there's any contact with the glove. It's going to be a tough one, and the call on the field is safe. That's why it's taken a bit of time here.
Kerwin Danley, the second base umpire on headset, along with the third base umpire Andy Fletcher on the right. And Davis ruled safe at second. So no conclusive evidence to overturn.
I think what it came down to is, was the tag ever applied to him before eventually getting the foot on the base? There's no doubting he blocked him. And there just wasn't enough evidence. We couldn't really see it either as far as was their tag ever applied.
So the call on the field stands from the second base umpire, Kerwin Danley. Davis remains out at second. Kipnis at the plate. The 1-1 from Shoemaker. Davis goes, thrown down to third. Is not in time, so Davis has his 15th steal of the season.
Timed it. You can see that secondary lead and goes. No chance at all for Jet Bandy to throw out Davis at third base, and even with a close play, replay is gone at that point for the Angels.
Mark, of course there was not video review when you pitched, but how would a delay like that affect you?
I mean, because you can get as many throws as you want in between the batters, but it's a different type of throw. So it's difficult to get right back in that frame of mind to finish off a very good hitter.
Left field off the bat of Kipnis, long run for Cunningham, and he makes the catch. Davis stranded at third, still no score. Giavotella, Bandy, and Petit. Bauer has allowed one base hit to Pujols, but then he was erased on a double play. Ball one to Johnny Giavotella, facing Bauer for the first time.
And his ability to use all his pitches, any count, has really made that jump and that improvement for Bauer this season. He's always had to stop, but now be able to throw breaking balls and fastball counts important.
Season high 10 strikeouts in his last start, as Giavotella grounds out to the third baseman Uribe for out number one. Nobody sees sports quite the way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. The brains to know and the guts to say. Catch Colin and Jason as they team up for FS1's new daily sports talk show, Speak for Yourself. It all starts Monday, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific.
Remember Jason Whitlock way back in the day, a beat writer for the Kansas City Star, covering the Royals back in the day.
Back when you were pitching for the Royals?
Yes.
Ball one to get Bandy. 4 hits in his last 10 at bats. After 4 Indians converged, it is Uribe who makes the play.
As usual, the pitcher thinks he's going to make the play and then try to direct traffic and get out of the way as much and quickly as possible. Especially when you got Uribe and Napoli running towards you. Good idea to get out of the way.
So with 2 away, Gregorio Petit.
Yeah, we showed it in the opening what Bauer did against the Yankees back in August of last year. We showed the strikeouts, but he was very effective pitching inside. He's throwing his breaking ball away, fastball in, and then elevating the fastball also.
He retired 15 of his last 19 at his last start Monday in Seattle, and has retired 7 of the first 8 here tonight. And now a 2-out base hit off the bat of the number 9 hitter, Petit, so that ends an 0 for 7 stretch. Second base hit for the Angels.
Petit's been a real good story for the Angels this year as he goes inside out on this fastball, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. 13 years persevered in the minor leagues, getting a chance to play every day here now with Anderson Simmons out of the lineup for the Angels. Has really hit the ball very well to all fields. Played a solid shortstop, very strong throwing arm also.
So Petit on at first. Here's Escobar. Fly to center, his first time up. High and tight from Trevor Bauer, ball one.
It's funny, before the game, Petit said, hey, remember when you talk about my age, you remember how old I said, well, no, 31. He goes, no, I'm 22. I said, well, you're playing like a 22-year-old right now. Great smile he has on his face. Really has done a nice job for the Angels.
Spent some time with the Yankees last season. A 1-1 from Bauer. Now 2 balls, 1 strike. Escobar had 2 of the 3 hits for the Angels last night. Escobar leads all Major League third basemen in base hits and batting average.
And he's hit the ball well to all fields. He doesn't miss many fastballs. He's very aggressive first pitch, but he always seems to get himself back into counts where he can make a good pass and a pitch on the outer half of the plate.
The 3-1, bounce to the right side. And that will do it for the Angels in the third. In Anaheim, Kenny Albert, Mark Gubicza. Jose Ramirez leads off for the Indians against Matt Shoemaker. Ramirez called out on strikes back in the first inning. Shoemaker with 4 strikeouts, no walks. He has now struck out 43 batters since issuing his last walk.
That's amazing when you think about it. I used to be happy when I made it through an inning without a walk, let alone that many innings and that many strikeouts. 12 batters faced, 9 first pitch strikes for Matt Shoemaker.
Ripped to right for a base hit. So the leadoff man is on for the Indians for the first time tonight.
And Matt Shoemaker was able to get through that third inning with that play with Kipnis at the plate. Rajai Davis at third, hit well by Kipnis as usual in those big moments. But that's our Gatorade Frost cool under pressure moment. Ty Cunningham runs that one down by the short wall in right field. Solid defensive play by the left fielder.
Cunningham recalled today. Angels sending Rafael Ortega to AAA Salt Lake. So here's Napoli with Ramirez on at first, nobody out. Ramirez back in.
Well, Terry Francona was saying so many good things about Jose Ramirez, what he has done for this team. They can put him in a number of different positions, and he's hit the ball extremely well this entire season. And another good swing here in the 4th inning for Cleveland. Shoemaker's allowed 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts. Does have 1 pickoff, 5 career pickoffs.
So 3 throws over before Shoemaker throws the first pitch to Mike Napoli.
Cleveland with 42 stolen bases as a team this year. Very aggressive.
Fourth most in the American League.
It's a pretty good sized lead by Ramirez.
Napoli struck out his first time up. He leads the American League with 87 strikeouts this season.
In a majority of those pitches, fastballs above the letters. He still tries to swing at that. Out over the plate, he's still pretty good as far as driving the ball to right center field in that high fastball, but up and in, he's had a tough time making contact with that pitch.
Napoli now in his 11th season, spent his first 5 years with the Angels. He was the Angels' 17th round pick back in 2000, 500th overall.
Yeah, that's the thing about scouting in baseball. The draft was just the last couple of days, and everyone talks about the first or second rounders. It's the middle rounds that really determine how well an organization is going to be as far as depth in their minor league system and then eventually in the major league system.
And as you mentioned earlier, the pitcher he is facing, Matt Shoemaker, was not drafted.
Kind of a guy that the Angels has had filling in a roster spot for a while, but really opened up eyes a couple of seasons ago when the Angels won 98 games, 16-game winner.
He was working as a substitute teacher during his minor league days. Put some extra cash in his pockets. Speaking of the draft, the Angels earlier today in the 23rd round selected Torrey Hunter Jr.
That's a great pick, and obviously the conversation when it comes to Torrey Hunter Jr. is his athleticism playing at Notre Dame. Mike Socha was real happy to see that. Torrey Hunter, a fan favorite here with the Angels, an outstanding player throughout his career, and he got to call that when he was drafted, his son. That must have been a thrill for Torrey.
His son, who plays both baseball and football at Notre Dame. He's a wide receiver.
A wide receiver was on the mound today for the San Francisco Giants, who played at Notre Dame. The margin.
23rd round pick, 28 receptions for the Fighting Irish last season.
Super fast. Very athletic. Torrey, an outstanding career for himself. 9 Gold Gloves, 4 with the Angels.
Another foul. So the count remains 1-2. Jeff Samardzija was Brady Quinn's wide receiver at Notre Dame.
Yes, indeed.
Brady now one of our colleagues at Fox Sports.
That's a pretty big target as a wide receiver to throw to.
Pitch out. No throw. 2-2. Our statistician Marty Aronoff points out another wide receiver on the Fighting Irish, along with Torrey Hunter Jr., the son of former basketball great David Robinson.
Yeah, that's a pretty good core out there as far as a wide receiver. Talking about those pitches seen per plate appearance. Napoli at 4.69, Mike Trout 4.50. I remember seeing on the sidelines a number of games watching Notre Dame football. You see David Robinson, Torrey Hunter watching their sons play. And I've had many a conversation with Torrey. He's biting his nails off. It's so tough to watch your son playing football in those big moments, especially where every game is on the line there at Notre Dame. This is so normal with Napoli at the plate, fighting off some tough pitches, seeing a lot of pitches.
He has seen 7, and Shoemaker has also thrown to first 5 times.
So that's a total of 12 throws. When you think about it, how many pitches he's thrown coming into this inning for Shoemaker. Not a lot of throws. Number of this inning, though.
42 pitches over the first 3 innings. Now up to 52. The 2-2. Left field, Cunningham. 1 out. So Shoemaker wins the battle. An 8-pitch at bat for Mike Napoli. The best seats at every ballpark for every game. Visit MLB.com/tickets today.
Would not be surprised to see Ramirez go on first pitch now. He's trying to get a read off of Shoemaker. Shoemaker's best move is the quick move over to first before he gets into a set position. When he holds the baseball, his times to the plate, he ran at the 1.35 to 1.45 range, which is not real fast. So if you guess right, you have a pretty good chance of being successful. But it's that move, the quick move he has, slows down the running game.
Santana doubled his first time up. There goes Ramirez. Throw down to second is not in time. And Ramirez steals his 7th base this season.
And thought that was going to be the case. Picked the right pitch to go. An all-speed pitch, got a good jump. 2-3 steps before the pitch is delivered. Jeff Bandy, who's throwing out 40% of would-be base stealers this year, had no chance on that one. Ramirez slides in, now in scoring position for Santana.
Indians now at 80%, 44 of 55 for the season, including 2 steals today. The 0-1 to Santana. Now 1-1. A 1-1 from Shoemaker, missing high and away, ball 2, and now a couple of words from Bandy as he started to head towards the mound.
And overthrown fastball. He tried to run that 2-seam fastball in, ran it upstairs. But the one thing about Shoemaker, see what he's done so far: no walks, 4 punch-outs. A lot of times behind in the count against a left-handed batter, 39%, a little over 39% of the time. He'll throw a split-finger fastball.
Now the 2-1. And this is the first 3-ball count for Shoemaker, who has struck out 43 batters since his last walk.
He's faced 145 batters since his last walk. And he went to that split finger fastball. He has an open base here. Guy who doubled off him earlier.
Full count.
To him another split finger fastball. Again, talked about percentage-wise what he throws behind in the count. Santana guessing fastball. Got a split finger fastball instead. And as a hitter in these spots, when you have an open base, the guy is swinging the bat well, you have to have in the back of your mind that he's not going to groove a fastball at you. Even with the walks or lack thereof the Shoemaker has going right now. Don't have to challenge with a fastball.
Payoff pitch to Santana. He strikes him out.
It's a pretty good sequence for Shoemaker. Back-to-back split finger fastballs, one out of his zone, one getting the swing, and then he came back with a 2-seam fastball at 93. It's that good balance, that hip turn he had, and great movement on the 93-mile-an-hour fastball against a very good fastball hitter in Santana, unable to make contact. Inside part of the plate, the reason why.
So now 44 strikeouts since his last walk. With 2 away, here's Lonnie Chisenhall. Fly to left his first time up. Ramirez the runner on second.
He's going back-to-back fastball. Chisenhall very good on low pitches, and both those fastballs are the lower part of the strike zone. A .340 batting average on low pitches this year, 8th best in the majors. So you're kind of going against, well, it's his strength for Shoemaker, but you're going into the strength of Chisenhall by going fastballs and pitches on the lower part of the strike zone against him. It's a dangerous spot.
The 0-2. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Pretty long look in right there, especially ahead of the count. And Chisenhall's eyes are looking in the lower part of the strike zone against Shoemaker, whether it's his fastball or split finger fastball. He's going to try to track and try to hit the ball to left field, to left center field.
Chisenhall down on strikes. 6 strikeouts for Shoemaker. We remain scoreless at Anaheim. Calhoun, Trout, Pujols here in the bottom of the 4th inning with no score, following the Indians' 6-2 victory in the series opener last night. Calhoun grounded out to the first baseman Napoli, his first time up. Now 1 for 8 lifetime against Trevor Bauer.
Boy, Bauer's done a nice job as far as his tempo, especially from the full windup. Doesn't move off that pitching rubber. Boy, as a hitter, what you want to do on occasion is try to throw off his timing, step out of the batter's box, dictate the pace yourself as a hitter.
Bauer making his 9th start. Appeared in 6 games out of the bullpen to start the season. He's 3-1 on the road this year. Calhoun pops it up. 1 away. Catch made by the shortstop, Ramirez.
Going back to our game last night, our greater coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. Cole Calhoun going a long way. Head first dive on the warning track areas. He's going right towards the short wall here at the Big A. The concentration into the glove for the 2015 Gold Glove winner in right field. What an outstanding play by Cole last night.
0 for 2 at the plate tonight. Now Mike Trout called out on strikes back in the 1st inning.
Well, he had the feeling he was going to be swinging first pitch. He doesn't do it a lot. On 0-0 counts when he puts the ball in play, .643 batting average with 2 home runs and 11 RBI. He's guessing fastball on occasion that first pitch.
Base hit down the right field line, and it bounces away from Chisenhall. Trout in standing at second.
I mean, that's a product of an infielder playing the outfield and knowing the speed that Mike Trout possesses. Got to the baseball, cut it off, knowing the Trout with his speed may try to turn that into a double. Pretty good piece of inside-out swinging from Mike Trout down the right field line as Chisenhall gets to that baseball, redirects and then off his leg. But the reason why he looked up to see if Trout was thinking about trying to turn it into a double. Ends up advancing on the error.
So a single for Trout. First error committed by Chisenhall this season. Strike 1 to Albert Pujols, who singled to right center against the shift his first time up.
It's the 32nd error committed by the Indians this year. A very good fielding club, 6th best in the American League in that category.
Pop to right. Here comes Chisenhall. Now 2 away. So Pujols is retired.
He got a pretty good pitch to drive. That's pretty much right down the heart of the plate. Just got underneath, and Albert not real happy because that's a pitch where so many times throughout his career he's hit a long, long way. Missed that one. Talking about barreling up a baseball, that's the top part of the bat, and that's why you see a fly ball to right field off the bat of Pujols. Bauer got away with that one. He hasn't made many mistakes in this game. He's been very effective. But that one, got away with.
So with 2 away, here's Marte, grounded into a double play back in the 2nd inning. Mike Trout, the first Angel base runner past first base. The Angels with 3 hits so far tonight off Bauer. Marte with a base hit down the left field line into the corner. Here comes Trout. He scores easily. Angels take a 1-0 lead. 7th run batted into the season for Jeffrey Marte.
Again, super quick on a fastball. And that's a fastball that Bauer's been very successful as far as throwing on the inner part of the plate with running action. But Marte brought his hands inside. It looked like it was trying to go to the outside corner. And Ren's back in, brings his hands in, and getting the barrel of the bat. His hips open up, and the line drive over Uribe's head for an RBI double for Marte's 7th RBI of the season. But anytime you see a catcher reach back across the strike zone, Kenny, it's generally not going to be a good thing for you on the mound.
So the Angels strike first. Here's Cunningham. Fouled out to the shortstop Ramirez in his first at bat as an Angel back in the second inning. Cunningham, a second-round draft pick by the Braves back in 2010. Played in 8 games with Atlanta in 2013 and then 39 games last season.
Was in the mix in spring training when the conversation who was going to be the everyday left fielder. With Daniel Nava, who was swinging the bat well, has been hurt. Craig Gentry, who has been hurt, was swinging the bat well. A number of guys getting that opportunity in left field this spring.
Cunningham, the 6th different starter in left field for the Angels during the regular season. This is game number 62. Sends this one right away center, and the catch is made by Nate Quinn to end the inning, but the Angels take the lead with 4 innings in the books. The game driven home by Jeffrey Marte in the bottom of the 4th inning. Angels with a 1-0 lead on the Indians as Juan Uribe leads off against Matt Shoemaker, who has struck out 6 over the first 4 innings and has now K'd 45 batters since his last walk. And Mark, our extensive research team, I know you were wondering what your longest streak was.
Is that about an inning in the 3rd?
We have been told that back in 1988, you struck out 16 consecutive batters without a walk.
Wow. I would never have guessed that one, believe me.
What was the over-under in your mind?
2 innings? Maybe about 2 strikeouts. I was known early on to walk quite a few people. So, but as my career progressed, I was a little more consistent in the strike zone. I wasn't a strikeout pitcher to begin with.
2-2 on Uribe.
Especially when you look back at the records for the Royals, most walks for a career. I'm at the top. Wild pitches, hit batters. So all those fun things, those extra base runners I'd love to have during the course of a game.
I didn't check out those pages in the record books.
Not that I ever did either, but so many people have reminded me of that one over the years.
Strikeout number 7 for Matt Shoemaker as we head for a game break and check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin. All right, thanks, Kevin. A look at the standings in the National League West. Giants by 4 over the Dodgers following their victory tonight.
It's been a solid series. First 2 games very tight, very good ones between the Giants and the Dodgers, as usual.
Here's Naquin, grounded out to second, his first time up. Again, the Angels shift. Escobar in on the grass at third. And Shoemaker now with 44 strikeouts and no walks over his last 5 starts. He has 46 strikeouts overall since his last walk, but over his last 5 starts, it's 44. That is now tied with Pedro Martinez.
It's been amazing the turnaround for Shoemaker from the beginning part of the season till this point. Again, we talked about that hip turn, getting better balance over the pitching rubber, but pitching with a lot more confidence and able to throw his split finger fastball first pitch strike. I mean, that's amazing when you see those numbers and the people that he's compared with now, from Curt Schilling to Pedro Martinez, as far as all the Ks with no walks over a 5-start span.
Schilling with 47 strikeouts back in 02 with Arizona during a 5-start span, as you saw. Martinez back in 2044, and now Shoemaker has tied him on that list.
And those guys were strikeout pitchers, and even I know Kershaw's at a streak right now, but what, 122 strikeouts with just 6 walks. They're strikeout pitchers. Shoemaker's a guy that can get strikeouts, but he's so locked in right now for the Angels.
Shoemaker back in late May, back-to-back starts with at least 10 strikeouts and no walks. First pitcher in Angels history to do that in consecutive wins. The only other pitchers who accomplished the same thing this season are Clayton Kershaw and Noah Syndergaard of the New York Mets.
Again, when you look at those guys, they're strikeout pitchers. Power fastballs. Shoemaker's spotting his 2-seam and 4-seam fastball well, but his split finger fastball has been amazing. Kershaw with 6 walks in 100 2/3 innings pitches. It's amazing. And the separation in the speed range here for Shoemaker, very good. 95 best fastball, but also his slowest pitch, an 80-mile-an-hour split, like that split.
Strikeout number 8. Well, tomorrow NASCAR heads to Matt Shoemaker's home state, Michigan, with the Sprint Cup Series racing, sponsored by Outback Steakhouse, as Kurt Busch looks to defend his title from last year. Only on FS1, watch it all live on Fox Sports Go.
Kenny, you're bringing it all together, man. Way to go.
Matt grew up in the state of Michigan, attended Eastern Michigan University.
Boy, the other day when the Tigers were in town, Kirk Gibson was doing the color analyst job for the Tigers. They got a chance to meet Shoemaker. You talk about a kid with a huge smile on his face. Shoemaker just couldn't stop smiling when he got a chance to talk to Kirk Gibson.
Did he ask for an autograph?
No, but they might go hang out during the wintertime doing some hunting and fishing.
That's even better.
That's even better for him. I got the autograph.
Kirk's or Matt's?
I got to get the side, both on the same baseball, the way Shoe's throwing right now.
47 strikeouts since his last walk.
11th time in this game for Shoemaker. He's been ahead of the count, 0-2 against Indians hitters. 11 times. And we're in the 5th inning. That split finger fastball right there, 0-2, started middle of the plate, ended up down and in.
A 1-2 to Jimenez, now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But that one there for Shoemaker, you overthrew that one well in front of the plate. And a lot of times, as a pitcher, when you overthrow like that, that very next pitch is a difficult one. So for Jimenez, you're looking for a fastball right now. A potential mistake is you try to get back to that good arm slot. This could be one of those pitches right now, the damage could be done. Looked like Bandy wanted a fastball in, fastball away, then went to a split finger fastball, back to a slider. Try a curveball.
Shoemaker strikes out the side. He has struck out 5 in a row, 9 through 5 innings. Shoemaker with 9 strikeouts through 5 innings, including 5 in a row. Nolan Ryan holds the club record with 8 consecutive strikeouts.
And on this date back in 1990, Nolan Ryan threw his 6th career no-hitter at age 43 against Oakland.
Shoemaker's season high 12 strikeouts against the Orioles, which is also his career high. Back on May 21st, struck out 11 6 days later at his next start against Houston. Giamatelli grounded out to the third baseman Uribe, his first time up.
Nolan, of course, was with the Rangers at that point of his career when he had his 6th no-hitter.
Hard to keep track.
Yeah, age 43. That's unbelievable. And he maintained velocity all the way up till he retired. And the reason why, Kenny, and I watched him pitch, especially later in his career, because we talked about Bauer, the way he uses his lower part of his body. That was Nolan's big thing. Did so much work now, a lot of running, long distance running, sprint running, but a lot of weight training to keep that lower part of his body strong to drive towards the plate. And that's exactly what you see from Bauer here also.
Angels scored an unearned run in the 4th. Trout single to right, moved to second on a Chisenhall error, and then came around to score on a Marte double. Bloop right into the glove of the second baseman Kipnis for out number 1.
Kipnis has turned into a really solid second baseman. His 1 error this year, fielding percentage of .996, which is second best in the American League among second basemen. Robinson Cano a little bit better as far as fielding percentage. Yeah, to keep in mind at Arizona State, where he was a teammate with Cole Calhoun, he was an outfielder. Really transitioned very well at that second base position.
Both pitchers have been outstanding. There have been 34 batters in the game. Only 2 3-ball counts. No walks on either side.
Very cool night here tonight. 65 degrees at the start of the game. As they say, June gloom out here in Southern California. A little drizzle today.
Where'd that come from? Uribe. Low throw. Safe at first is Bandy. Napoli thought he had it and then dropped it.
This is going to be a tough error on Uribe. It was a low throw, but Napoli used the in position to be able to scoop this throw. The low throw, a firm throw. But that's a play where Napoli's going to make most times there at first base. He got down there to be able to field that ball. Almost had a chance, it looked like to catch it before it hit the dirt. It's one of those plays, a lot of times the third baseman will get the error, but Napoli will tell you right after the game he should have made that play. We're not real happy about that. Again, it forces you to throw some extra pitches.
The error is charged to Napoli. An assist to Uribe.
It's the sixth error of the year for Napoli at first base.
Petit single to right his first time up.
That's a real good changeup, especially as a hitter. You're coming to the plate, you see a pitcher a little bit upset that that's not an out there, so you're looking and geared up for a fastball. Instead, Bauer threw a very good changeup. Petit was unable to make contact. A lot of times you'll see hitters, they'll look out at the pitcher to see how they're reacting to certain plays, and then you look in a zone to try to do some damage. A really nice job by Bauer to take that deep breath and come back and throw a changeup in a fastball spot.
Runner goes. So the Angels stay out of the double play as Bandy was on the move and Petit is thrown out by Uribe for out number 2.
Third baseman, number 6,
Yunel Escobar 0 for 2. Fly to center, grounded to second. Angels with a runner in scoring position and a 1-0 lead, looking to end a 5-game losing streak.
When you look at the outfield here for the Indians, they're playing really deep, and with Bandy at second base, it's going to be important for him to get a secondary lead to be able to score on a base hit.
First pitch, Escobar, deep right field. Chisenhall back on the track, and he makes the catch to end the inning. Anaheim Angels with a 1-0 lead on the Indians. Indians in first place in the American League Central.
Certainly some good positive vibes in Cleveland. You got the Cavaliers in the NBA Finals, the Indians in first place.
And I know you're a hockey fan, Mark. The American Hockey League team, the equivalent of AAA baseball, in Cleveland, won the championship tonight.
Oh, wow.
The Lake Erie Monsters, they play at Quicken Loans Arena.
Wow.
The home arena of the Cavaliers. 1-0 in overtime over the Hershey Bears. So a championship in Cleveland for the Lake Erie Monsters of the American Hockey League.
What a great name, too, they had. What was it, the Cleveland Barons back in the day?
Cleveland Barons in the NHL back in the mid-70s. The Cleveland Crusaders in the WHA.
Yes.
Rajay Davis reached on an error his last time up and then stole third. Behind in the count, 1-2. Shoemaker has struck out 5 in a row, 9 through 5 innings. And 48 strikeouts since his last walk. And Davis becomes strikeout victim number 10. So double digits for Shoemaker for the third time in his last 5 starts.
That split finger fastball is devastating tonight. We're exactly where this split finger starts. You see the grip right there for Shoemaker. Starts belt high, ends up by the dirt. Hitter tracks that, thinks they're on top of it, and instead it's another swing and miss for the 10th time.
So too shy of Nolan Ryan's franchise record for consecutive strikeouts. 6 in a row. Ball 1 to Kipnis, who is 0 for 2.
And the thing is, because he can throw his split finger fastball for strikes and his slider and his curve, he's getting some late swings on his fastball.
All 9 Indians have struck out tonight. Uribe twice. The count now 2-1. In the last 40 years, only Curt Schilling and Greg Maddux have struck out as many as 50 in a row without issuing a walk. The strikeout streak will end, but Kipnis is retired as he flies out to the center fielder Mike Trout. Vote today, vote tomorrow. Vote for your 2016 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at MLB.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 87th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, July 12th, live on Fox.
And it's right down the road in San Diego at Petco Park.
You know he will be there.
Oh, yes. No question. And what he has done, back-to-back MVPs of the All-Star Game, including a home run last year against Zach Greinke.
Jose Ramirez, 1 for 2. Singled his last time up. 1 of 2 hits for the Indians. Up the middle, Petit. And the Indians are retired in order in the 6th.
Tell you what, right now the pitchers have been feasting on the hitters, which you wouldn't think that would be the case, especially the way Cleveland has swung the bats this season, scoring runs. But Shoemaker's been very good. Bauer has been very good himself for Cleveland.
Only 6 hits in the game. 1 unearned run scored by the Angels in the 4th inning. Bauer now facing Calhoun. He'll be followed by Trout and Pujols. Fouled off to the left side. 1-1. Well, you watch the Angels on a nightly basis. Matt Shoemaker had an earned run average of over 9 over his first 5 starts. What's changed?
I mean, that split finger fastball, he's able to throw that for a first pitch strike, but also get a lot of swing and misses. And his fastball velocity, we talked about this, that slight hip turn he's had has created better balance on the rubber, where he's working downhill with his fastball like this, and then he threw that split finger fastball to go along with it. He's been on such a roll right now. Not getting a lot of run support, but he's been throwing the ball very, very well.
10 strikeouts tonight, including 6 in a row at one point. And run support has been an issue for Matt Shoemaker over the last 2 seasons.
And he's coming off a game in New York where he was just dominating. And next thing you know, a couple pitches up in the strike zone, home runs hit against him, and then all of a sudden the Yankees got on a roll and ended up winning that game late. Look at that ERA in his last 5 starts, 2.80. You mentioned what he did before that, ERA over 9. Went down to the minor leagues for 1 start, came right back up with another injury to the pitching staff for the Angels, which has certainly been an issue this year for the Angels as far as many starters unavailable, a number on the 60-day DL.
10 players in all on the disabled list for the Angels. Todd Cunningham, their starting left fielder tonight, the 40th player used by the Angels this season in 62 games. Bloop right into the glove of the shortstop Ramirez for out number 1.
And here's a real good look at that split finger fastball we were just talking about. The grip on the pitch and the split on that one. Right there you can see exactly where he has it on the horseshoe part of the baseball, and then the tumbling action where it starts and then where it ends up. Truly amazing how much that pitch moves for him.
So 1 away, here's Trout, and he takes a called strike. Trout struck out of the 1st inning, singled, came around to score the only run of the game in the 4th. 2nd hit of the game for Mike Trout.
That was just a real good piece of hitting. That's a curveball at 78 miles an hour. After seeing Bauer so effectively pitch inside, even got Cole Calhoun on a jam shot. The pitch when he was up there at the plate, stays back, got the foot down, but keeps his bat back long enough on a low pitch on a curveball to be able to see that, track that down in the zone. That's why he is so special. Well, he had a game last year going against Chris Sale, one of the best pitchers in the game, on a 3-2 pitch. Sale threw him a perfect changeup with the bases loaded. He hit it out to center field for a grand slam. Very good as far as making adjustments on low pitches.
Albert Pujols 1 for 2. Angels with a 1-0 lead. Indians no runs, only 2 hits. Angels 1 run on 5 hits. Angels looking to add to their lead. Trout back in at first.
And Bauer very difficult to steal against also. He's only allowed 1 stolen base in 2 attempts this season. 2 career pickoffs. Holds the ball very well, but very, very quick to the plate. That's something that's taught at UCLA too, holding the baseball. The most difficult thing for a base runner is to time a pitcher who can hold the baseball. It's the best deterrent to a running game. And it's not as easy as it looks. Because when you're out there on the mound as a pitcher, you're just trying to, you're geared up to try to get the hitter out. To be able to hold the ball like he does is not easy to do.
Bauer part of a staff at UCLA that included the Pittsburgh Pirates' Garrett Cole.
Can you imagine facing them in a weekend series? You're just hoping that somehow it was an El Nino year, you got some rain.
And then Cole and Bauer were the first and third overall picks in the 2011 draft. Nothing in 2 on Pujols.
It's the first 0-2 count of the game for Bauer, even though he didn't throw many pitches. He's thrown the ball very well himself. He's really done a great job as far as getting his fastball inside.
Up the middle, diving attempt by Kipnis, a base hit for Pujols. Trout to third. Runners on the corners for the Angels here in the 6th. With only 1 out, second hit of the game for Pujols.
On an 0-2 pitch, Bauer went upstairs, a firm fastball, but it's upstairs. You have a better chance as a hitter of putting this ball in play when it's elevated. And Pujols went right back up the middle for a base hit. And because of the way this baseball was hit up the middle, allows Trout to go first to third. He just got by Kipnis with his range, very good range at second on the shortstop side of the base. Again, that 0-2 pitch, as a pitcher, you want that down and away. Very difficult to hit well, but when it's elevated, you can put it in play, and that's exactly what Pujols did.
2 hits apiece for Trout and Pujols. They have 4 of the 6 Angels base hits. Marte at the plate. His double drove in Trout back in the 4th inning. What a play by Uribe. And the Indians double up Pujols to end the inning. Who doubled Pujols off first. With the Angels threatening, runners on the corners. Marte lined into the double play. So the Angels lead remains 1-0, top of the 7th. Here's Napoli. Shoemaker missing low and away, ball 1.
And these are the spots where Napoli has been very dangerous against his former team. 18 career home runs, including 38 RBI for Napoli against the Angels.
He's 0 for 2 tonight. 1-1. Shoemaker has retired 9 straight. 6 strikeouts during that span. Napoli gets the bat on it, and it drops in front of Trout for a base hit. First base runner for the Indians since the 4th inning. As we check in with Kevin Burkhardt, the game break. Kevin. So the ex-Indian Michael Bourne comes through. Indians with the leadoff man on for the 2nd time tonight. And now Santana, who doubled in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Fastball missing away, ball 1. Shoemaker with 10 strikeouts. And now 49 since issuing his last walk.
It was the 7th inning when Shoemaker was cruising along in New York with a 2-0 lead. Got a couple quick outs and then back-to-back home runs. He's in a tough spot right now, trying to maintain a 1-0 lead. Very similar type of game, very similar type of feel for Shoemaker and Mike Scioscia again today.
Shoemaker behind, 2-0. Napoli the runner on first. The pitch to Santana. Ball 3.
The fastball had some movement, just a little bit out of the strike zone though. Santana, you mentioned earlier, Kenny, very, very patient at the plate.
Remember, Shoemaker worked his way back from a 3-1 count in Santana's last at bat. Now the 3-0, and the streak comes to an end. First walk issued by Shoemaker following 49 consecutive strikeouts since his last base on balls.
And again, there's no doubt, when you're on the mound, you had a similar circumstance your last time out where you were just pitching so well, then all of a sudden a base hit or a home run comes back right at you. Now all of a sudden 1st and 2nd. 49 strikeouts since his last walk. What an amazing run for Matt Shoemaker.
Over the last 40 years, it is tied for the 3rd longest streak. Curt Schilling 56 in a row, Greg Maddux 53, Pedro Martinez and Matt Shoemaker 49. Some pretty good company.
Yeah, amazing names to be up there with and compared with. Now with mentioned Chisenhall, very good on pitches in the lower part of the strike zone. Very difficult matchup now for Shoemaker.
1st and 2nd, nobody out. Escobar and on the grass at 3rd. First pitch, Chisenhall, left field. Cunningham moving to his right for out number 1. Now the throw to 3rd. Double play. Napoli tagged out by Escobar.
And the reason why that happened, Cunningham did a fantastic job as far as getting behind that baseball. It was hit well by Chisenhall, but look how he gets himself in very good throwing position. Catches that baseball on the throwing side of his body to one-hop perfect throw to 3rd base to get Napoli trying to advance to 3rd base. But it's all about the preparation, getting behind the baseball as well as Cunningham did to throw a perfect throw to 3rd base.
Santana advanced to 2nd on the throw. So with 2 outs, here's Uribe, who has struck out twice. First pitch, center field, it's Trout. 7th inning stretch time in Anaheim, still 1-0 Angels. The double play in the last half inning will lead off for the Angels here in the bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 6th, Angels had first and third, one out. And Marte lined into a double play. And then in the last half inning, with the Indians threatening, here's what took place.
Cunningham did an excellent job. If you're watching at home, you're a youngster, that's exactly what you want to do. Get behind the baseball, catch it on that throwing side.
One away here in the bottom of the 7th as Cunningham lines out as we check back in with Kevin Burkhardt. All right, thanks, Kevin. Look at the American League West standings.
Boy, Texas is a very good team. They're scoring a lot of runs, getting healthy on the pitching side. Seattle's played very well themselves.
The Angels marked 9 games under 500 for the first time since September of 2013.
And a lot of expectation, high expectations coming in the way they played in spring training. A lot of people were doubting Mike Scioscia's club coming into the season, but they played baseball very well in spring training, hit the ball well. Didn't necessarily carry over. Then a number of key injuries to the pitching staff really set them back. Coming into the wintertime, the conversation was there was going to be a surplus of starting pitchers. They could make some moves. You had 8 starters, and all of a sudden now, and a majority of them are on the 60-day DL, including their ace in Garrett Richards.
Off the fists. A base hit for Giavotella.
Again, another firm fastball in the inner half of the plate for Bauer, jamming another hitter. Or that back going, but just flare that into the outfield. Try to put that one in play. Not the good part of the bat on it, but enough to get it into the outfield for a base hit. The reaction by Bauer. Again, you're going to see a lot of that. Every time there's a flare in the outfield, it's an elevated pitch on the inner half of the plate. That's exactly what he tried to do, but it fell in there for a base hit.
Here's Bandy, reached on an error his last time up.
These are the times that Mike Scioscia loves to put a hit and run on. Trusting that Bandy can hit the ball on the ground, and Giavitello will read this well and get a good jump.
Runner goes, and a base hit through the hole into left field. Perfect execution. Runners on the corners for the Angels with one out.
Yeah, you're not looking for a pretty base hit. You're looking for a base hit on the ground. And with Ramirez covering the base, a slow roller through the shortstop position. A good pitch, hit it on the ground. That's all you're trying to do as a hitter. Put the ball on the ground. And Ramirez leaving that shortstop position. That ball just trickles into the outfield, and Giavitello to go first and third.
First and third with one out for the second straight inning for the Angels. Petit 1 for 2.
Like Mike Scioscia's going to put on a safety squeeze. Difference between the safety squeeze and suicide squeeze, the runner's going. Safety squeeze, you wait as a runner at third base for the ball to be bunted on the ground in the infield. And going back to that play, that hit and run, though, it's surprising, though, you have Ramirez, the shortstop, covering the base with a right-handed batter at the plate. Vacated spot, ground ball through that hole. A lot of times you'll see the second baseman covering.
Marked it foul, 0-2.
Bauer doing a nice job of composing himself. A flare into the outfield and a ground ball that gets through the hole on a hit and run. 2 base hits that were not hit hard. All of a sudden it's first and third. He's reacted very well, got ahead of the count 0-2 here.
The only run allowed by Bauer tonight, unearned, back in the 4th inning. One and 2. Tommy Hunter up in the Indians' pen.
This 81 pitches thrown for Bauer. That's an outstanding number here into the 7th inning.
There's Bauer quickly off the mound, checks the runner at third, throws the first 2 away.
There's a quick conversation of Ron Renicky and Johnny Giavitello. The Angels always have the contact play on. Very difficult read, though, as a third base as a base runner on the ground ball back to the pitcher. Starts to go, but then stops. And Bauer did a nice job, under control. Excellent fielding play by Trevor Bauer. Under control, looks him back, and then a good throw to first base. Again, going back to the 2 hits in this inning against him. For a young pitcher, he's really maintained his composure.
Second and third, 2 outs. Escobar to the plate. He is 0 for 3. The teams are a combined 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. The only hit, the Marte double, which drove in the game's only run back in the 4th inning. Ball 1 to Escobar.
That's a pretty good curveball. And Escobar has been very good as far as batting average on high pitches this year. 375 on high pitches, but also very solid 314 on off-speed pitches. But it's a difficult matchup, even though he's thrown the ball well against, Bauer has against Escobar today. This is one of those matchups, though. It's a difficult one for him.
a 2-0. Now 2-1. Second and third, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. Giavotella and Bandy are the base runners for the Angels. Ball 3.
Good life in that fastball still for Bauer. That's the 95-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs.
"15 pitches thrown this inning by Bauer. That is his high for an inning in tonight's game. The 3-1, and Escobar fouls it off back behind first. The count is full.
Pretty good indication of the life on the fastball. You're in a fastball count against a very good fastball hitter, yet you're late on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Bauer has thrown the ball very, very well tonight. Does Bauer have enough trust in Jimenez to block a breaking ball in the dirt? This would be the time to try to snap that curveball off to get a swing and miss in the dirt.
Ball 4. Bases loaded. First walk issued by Bauer tonight. Here comes pitcher coach Mickey Callaway.
Doing a very good job with this pitching staff with great young arms.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Calhoun at the plate. He is 0 for 3 tonight and 1 for 10 lifetime against Bauer.
And he's got great numbers with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. 429 batting average for Cole Calhoun in these spots right now. That's why I had a quick conversation with Mickey Callaway with Trevor Bauer to go over strategy here.
Calhoun on the first pitch, pops it up, and it will drop in. Two-run score. Angels lead 3-0.
Just a well-placed fly ball by Cole Calhoun, again coming through for the Angels with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Fastball off the plate, good movement at 93. Certainly did not square it up, but you can see exactly where Ramirez is playing, how far he would have to go to even get close to that baseball. Unable to do so as that falls in, drives in 2. And Bauer, this inning, really hasn't given up no distance as far as any of these hits, yet 2 runs scored.
RBIs number 33 and 34 for Calhoun. He extends his hitting streak to 5 games. Mike Trout, 2 for 3.
Again, Trout doesn't swing often at the first pitch, but this could be that moment he will try to do so, anticipating a fastball first pitch. Look how far he had to go there, Ramirez, right here, right there, and how far he has to go to be able to try to track down that baseball into left field. As good as he's played in that position, that's an extremely long distance to be able to try to track that ball down where he was playing defensively.
0-2 on Trout. The 0-2 from Bauer in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
To get back to that pitch, that's the pitch I thought he would throw Escobar instead of the high fastball. It's very difficult as a hitter to lay off that pitch. And he had an open base too. So that's one of those pitches you look back on during the course of the game and think about it at night. It's 21 pitches he's thrown in this inning. That would be the pitch I think he could have threw to Escobar.
Two and 2.
Francona looking on, more than likely the last batter for Bauer here. Francona looking on, one way or the other.
His 23rd pitch of the inning. And he strikes out Trout to end the inning, but the Angels scored 2, now lead 3-0. To extend the Angels' lead to 3-0, and Trevor Bauer not very happy when he returned to the Indians' dugout.
Yeah, there were a couple of tough hits in that inning, really, against Bauer. No real good swings against him, and ended up giving up 2 earned runs. Don't blame him. Showing some fire there going into that dugout.
Naquin leads off for the Indians. Is that similar to the fire that Terry Francona showed after facing you? We had a great chat with the Indian skipper before the game today, and he brought up a game during your respective playing careers. He said he could never hit your slider, so his teammate Joe Carter would give him some help and would whistle.
Yes, whistle when
he thought the slider was coming.
And I had no idea. So I mean, I've talked to Terry for a lot of years. This is the first time he told me. Back in 1988, He said that Joe Carter knew exactly when I was throwing a slider, so he whistled, and I threw a slider about 8 feet in front of the plate, and he swung at it. And Joe Carter, I said, why'd you swing at it? Well, you said a slider was coming. I was anticipating, so I just swung at it.
So I guess the signal from Joe Carter did not help.
No, thankfully. Francona was a solid player himself. It's funny how you always remember those things, both the hitter and the pitcher.
Strikeout number 11 for Matt Shoemaker, one shy of matching his career high. Our game summary presented by Budweiser. Shoemaker has gone 7 1/3. His streak of 49 straight strikeouts without a walk ended in the 7th inning. Bauer has allowed 2 earned runs and allowed that 2-out, 2-run single to Calhoun in the 7th. And what it does not say on that graphic is that Terry Francona was 1 for 7 lifetime against Mark Gubicza.
So I guess my slider was pretty good after all.
At least 6 out of the 7 times.
Yes. I'm sure that one hit, I can't remember, probably did some damage against me, though.
A pinch hitter, Michael Martinez, batting for Jimenez with 1 away here in the top of the 8th.
Another very versatile player for Terry Francona. Martinez, a great story himself. Played some outfield. An infielder by trade, played outfield last night. Been very solid with 294 batting average, but really puts the ball in play hard. Very good speed in the outfield, even though he's an infielder. A number of different infielders playing the outfield. Chisenhall, a third baseman playing right field tonight. Versatile players, that's what Terry Francona needs for this team to be successful.
The former Philly and Pirate. The 1-1 to Martinez, now 2 balls, 1 strike.
Trevor Bauer back on the bench. As that look's still going now, as any starting pitcher would when you make quality pitches and a couple flares hurt you.
Pujols to the bag for out number 2. If you're an MLB fan, then you need the all-new Fox Sports app. Get exclusive videos and content, including player profiles, live scores, highlights, plus breaking news, opinions, and analysis. Download now on iTunes, Google Play, or visit foxsports.com/app. 2 away, here's Davis. Mark, the Angels really needed this performance from Shoemaker tonight after having to use 6 pitchers in last night's game.
And that's been the case really for a number of starts here from the other starters outside of Shoemaker, who's been very, very good as far as getting deep in the game for Mike Socha's club.
He retires the Indians in order in the 8th. Anaheim, Kenny Albert, Mark Gubicza. A 3-0 lead for the Angels. They scored an unearned run in the 4th, and then 2 runs in the 7th off Trevor Bauer. 108 pitches for Matt Shoemaker. Has not allowed a run. Has struck out 11. Strike 1 to Albert Pujols. Yan Gomes, the new Indians catcher. Houston Street up in the Angels' pen.
Yeah, the way Shoemaker's looking, though, in the dugout, I think Mike Scioscia's going to allow him to go back out there. If there's a base runner, then he'll make that move. But at this moment, Shoemaker looking for his first career shutout.
And his first career complete game. This is his 57th start. A complete game last night from the Indians' Corey Kluber. Allowed only 3 hits, struck out 8. Retired the last 11 batters he faced. Kluber's 9th complete game since 2014, most in the American League.
Yeah, the 2014 Cy Young Award winner in the American League in 2014 looked every bit of that last night. Complete command throughout for the Indians.
The 2-2 to Pujols, who has 2 hits today. Into the shift. Pujols grounds out. He is now 2 for 4. Well, David Ortiz, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, and all of baseball's superstars come together for the primetime event that will light up the summer. The MLB All-Star Game from San Diego, July 12th, only on Fox. And how about the season David Ortiz is having? He leads all of baseball in runs batted in.
It is amazing. He's, he announced before the season started he is retiring after this season, but boy, is he. There's so many people saying, please do not. A lot of pitchers are saying, please do.
His former manager, Terry Francona, in the Indians dugout. They won a pair of World Series titles together. Marte drove in the first run back in the 4th inning with a double to left, an unearned run. Angels have lost 5 straight. They lead tonight's game against Trevor Bauer and the Indians 3-0.
Just 1 walk allowed by Bauer. 2 punch-outs, both against Mike Trout.
Trout, Pujols, Marte, 3-4-5 in the Angels' order. 0 for 11 in last night's game. Tonight, they are 5 for 11.
It's really been putting the ball in play in those situations and been successful doing so.
5 of the 9 Angels hits from that trio. And it was Calhoun who bats in front of Trout, who drove in 2 runs in the 7th.
Well, I'll tell you what, we talked about, Kenny, how Terry Francona is such a player's manager. After that tough inning for Trevor Bauer, a couple flares and a ground ball through the hole on a hit and run, he brings his youngster back out to the mound. Trevor Bauer's trying to reward him by going out there and putting up a 1-2-3 inning, but that tells you what kind of a manager Francona is, to give him a chance. He saw the energy and the anger.
Marte down on strikes. Time for a game break. Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin. All right, thanks, Kevin. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th here in Anaheim. Todd Cunningham in his Angels debut, 0 for 3 at the plate, but he's made some terrific defensive plays. Was part of a double play back in the 7th inning to keep it a 1-0 game at that point. Looking ahead, the Indians will have Kipnis, Ramirez, and Napoli due up in the 9th.
It always seems like Napoli always comes up in those moments too against his former team.
Barehanded by Uribe. What a play. We head to the 9th.
Still do it, Ken. He can still do it at 3rd.
Nothing lead for the Angels. A tremendous performance from their starter, Matt Shoemaker. His night is over. Houston Street, the Angels' closer, with 321 career saves. He's tied for 17th all-time with the ex-Indian Jose Mesa. So an opportunity for number 322. After Shoemaker, in 8 innings, allows only 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk. He strikes out 11. Finally allowed a walk in the 7th inning, which ended a streak of 49 consecutive strikeouts since his last walk.
Just an amazing performance for Shoemaker, especially when you watch the way Cleveland swung the bats last night. The execution, especially get ahead of the count right away, a number of 0-2 counts throughout the game. But now, Houston Street's going to have to go through the tough part of the lineup for Cleveland.
Jason Kipnis will lead off. Kipnis 0 for 3. Then Ramirez, then Napoli. Ball 1 from Street.
And Street's fastball is going to be 87 to 90. Very good changeup and slider. Got 18, I think that 10 career saves against Cleveland. 19th game. 1-0 mark with an ERA 0.90 against Cleveland for Houston Street.
Well, 1-1. Now 2 balls, 1 strike. Popped up. Petit backpedaling. 1 out.
It looks like they put Brandon Ryan in at shortstop. Gregorio Petit over to second base.
So it's Ryan who makes the play.
Something Mike Scioscia does quite a bit, especially with Brandon Ryan with his glove. What he's been able to do throughout his career, fielding in that shortstop position. Petit's been very solid moving over to second base.
So with 1 out, here's Ramirez. He is 1 for 3 tonight, singled back in the 4th inning. Base hit into left center off the bat of Ramirez. So a 1 out base runner for the Indians here in the top of the 9th.
It's been a hitting machine for Cleveland. 2 hit performance, 2 for 4. Batting average coming in the game at 305.
Mike Napoli 1 for 3. Single back in the 7th inning. 1 out, top of the 9th. Angels with a 3-0 lead. The 0-1 from Street. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We go back to this game right now, especially early part when it was a 1-0 lead for the Angels. Napoli's decision to try to tag up against Cunningham on that fly ball in left field, and a perfect throw from Cunningham, doubling him up at third base. Really the difference in this game. And then that single that drove in 2 for Calhoun after that.
But it was 1-0 at that point.
Again, you always want to be aggressive as a base runner, but in the plays in front of you, especially as a left fielder who has a good throwing arm like Cunningham, it's a dangerous play. You can credit Cunningham for getting behind that baseball well in a perfect throw. You know, he got behind that baseball for Todd Cunningham, and then the one-hop throw right into Escobar, who was able to apply the tag on Napoli, trying to go to third.
That was back in the 7th inning. Now 2-2 on Napoli with Santana on deck. Ramirez, the runner on first with 1 out. Another foul.
Well, he will battle you at that plate. Talked about how many pitches he sees each appearance. 4.69 pitches per plate appearance, and he fouls off some very good pitchers' pitches out of the strike zone. And he will strike out on occasion, but he will fight you in that batter's box.
We have seen 22 pitches tonight in his 4 at-bats.
Hey, Mike, let's go, Mike! You're holding up the fireworks!
Somebody just yelled, Mike, you're holding up the fireworks. Off the fist, into center field for a base hit. So 2 on with 1 out. And the potential tying run will come to the plate.
Boy, when you look at his approach right there, Kenny, he was just trying to make contact. There's at times during the game where he'll try to drive the ball out of the ballpark. He's just trying to make contact. Shorten up the swing. See how he shortened it up for a base hit. Up the middle. Knows that he needs to get on base, especially with 2 strikes on him. Fought off some tough pitches and eventually a base hit up the middle. Not exactly squared up, but put in play.
So the Indians, who had only 3 hits in 8 innings against the Angels starter Matt Shoemaker, with back-to-back base hits here in the 9th. Ramirez and Napoli. Carlos Santana, 1 for 2 with a walk. Ball 1. Houston Street retired the first batter of the inning, Jason Kipnis. Back-to-back singles by Ramirez and Napoli. The 1-0 from Street, 1-1.
There's a real good changeup. Santana looking for a fastball. Thought he would get that in a 1-0 count. With 2 on, trying to do some damage. Instead, the veteran throws a changeup in a fastball count.
Santana with a drive, deep right field. It's off the out-of-town scoreboard. 1 run scores. Moving to third is Napoli. It's now a 3-1 game. Santana coming so close to tying it with 1 swing of the bat.
Yeah, that was an elevated changeup, and he jumped on it. It's the second shot he hit in this game. You see that changeup up, how well he brought his hands up on that baseball. He just missed tying the game up. That's not an easy thing to do on a changeup, to bring your hands up like that and drive the ball off the wall, but played extremely well by Cole Calhoun to keep it to a single, to keep a double play in order.
Santana drives in his 29th run. 1st and 3rd for Lonnie Chisenhall. 3 consecutive base hits off the closer, Houston Street. Still only 1 out.
This is exactly why this Cleveland club is so special. They don't give up. Shoemaker threw in an unbelievable game against them, but all of a sudden they put themselves in position to not only tie the game but potentially take the lead here.
Chisenhall, left field. Cunningham under it. 2 outs. Napoli comes home, scores on the sacrifice fly. It's now a 1-run game.
And a smart play by Cunningham. He got behind that baseball. The thought process was for him, get that in to second base as quick as possible. The run's going to score, but you want to prevent Santana from getting in the scoring position himself. And now you have to deal with one of the best young players in the game coming to the plate for the Cleveland Indians.
Francisco Lindor pinch hitting for Juan Uribe. With 2 outs, top of the 9th inning, Indians down to their final out. Santana, the runner on first. 2 runs in the inning on 3 base hits and a sacrifice fly. Ball 1 to Lindor.
And if you're Cleveland, you're sitting at home, you're thinking, okay, is there a pinch runner potentially for Santana? But with only 3 extra position players on the roster, they've been used now. Santana stays at first base.
Right, nobody left. They used Martinez, Gomes, and now Lindor. 1-1. Pitch number 21 from Houston Street, strike 2. The 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Obviously a position Lindor is not in a whole lot as far as a pinch hitter coming off the bench. Not an easy thing to do as a young hitter, as Trevor Bauer looking on. Terry Francona so far this inning has put himself in position to make this comeback.
The 2-2 to Lindor. Fouls it back to the screen to stay alive. Napoli scored the second Cleveland run this inning. In the dirt. Full count.
Good block by Jet Bandy on an all-speed pitch in the dirt, knowing that you want to keep Santana from getting into scoring position now. But a 3-2 count, though, he's able to move. Certainly an advantage for Santana. That pitch, change up in front of the plate, blocked very well by Jet Bandy.
Runner goes, payoff pitch, foul back.
Again, credit the youngster Lindor to get himself in position to get a 3-2 count to allow Santana to be on the move on the pitch.
There goes Santana. Ball 4 to Lindor. So the Indians now with the potential tying run in scoring position.
It's a real good at bat for Lindor. The youngster did not chase that fastball off the outside part of the plate. Fought off some tough pitches, worked the walk.
In his first pinch hit at bat of the season.
Again, not easy to do, especially when you're a young hitter. You're going to be aggressive, you're going to be swinging early in the count. Ends up working a walk.
So the Indians stay alive. They've scored 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits. First and second with Naquin at the plate. 0 for 3. He has struck out twice.
As far as outfield arms for the Angels coming in, we saw him early. Very good throwing arm. Trout has improved quite a bit. Had a career-high 7 outfield assists last year in center. Cole Calhoun, the Gold Glove winner in the American League in right field, a plus throwing arm, 22 outfield assists last 3 years.
28th pitch of the inning from Houston Street, a base hit into right field. Here comes Santana. The throw to the plate is high. We are tied at 3. Houston Street, the closer, came on with a 3-0 lead. He retired the first batter of the inning. He has allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. The Indians have tied the game in the top of the 9th inning. Run here at the top of the 9th. The Indians score 3 off closer Houston Street. He's replaced by Fernando Salas. With Yan Gomes at the plate, runners on second and third. On the first pitch, Gomes pops it up. And the top of the 9th finally comes to an end as Escobar makes the play. We are tied at 3 heading to the bottom of the 9th. The top of the ninth inning as the Indians scored 3 against the closer Houston Street.
Boy, this is a real good piece of hitting. Went down on a fastball running away. Went out and got it and hooked it in the hole between second and first. Again, throughout that entire inning for Cleveland, very good swings, putting the ball in play, and eventually tying it up on that base hit right there. Tyler Naquin, great at bat.
Ryan Shaw will make his 29th appearance out of the Indians' pen. Lindor remains in the game at shortstop. Ramirez moves to third. Brendan Ryan batting for the first time, and he takes ball 1 from Shaw.
Yeah, Shaw will throw a slider and cut fastball. A lot of cut fastball. It's going to be 91 to 94 range. Occasional split finger fastball. There's that cut fastball right there, right on the outside corner once again.
Ryan without a hit, he is 0 for 12.
Throwing with 25 strikeouts and 24 innings pitched this year. Hasn't been quite as effective out of the bullpen for Cleveland this year. ERA 4.88, 6 home runs allowed in 24 innings pitched.
Tied at 3, bottom of the ninth in Anaheim. Angels had a 3-0 lead with 1 out in the top half of the inning.
Besides that base hit by Naquin, there was a couple really good at-bats. Lindor coming in the pinch hit, worked a walk. Napoli fought off some tough pitches before Flair went into center field. So some really good at-bats in that inning for Cleveland.
Payoff pitch from Shaw, and a base hit off the bat of Ryan into center field to start the inning.
First base hit wearing the Angel uniform for Ryan. Cut fastball at the end of the bat, but placed well. Not easy to get anything by Lindor at shortstop, but was able to do so.
So the leadoff man on for the Angels here in the bottom of the ninth. Bandy 1 for 3. Ramirez in on the grass at third. Bandy singled, came around to score back in the 7th inning. He has 1 sacrifice bunt this season. The toss to first by Shaw. Ryan now in scoring position.
Solid job by Jet Bandy. Hasn't been asked to square around a bunt a whole lot in his baseball career. Been able to get that one down though. Big strong hitter with power. Gets that bunt down. Great technique as far as squaring that bat up. It's not moving around. Push that ball right down to the infield grass. Successful sack.
So Ryan takes his leadoff second, 1 out. Here's Petit. He is 1 for 3.
Boy, if you're a hitter against Shaw, you got to think in terms of tracking something on the outer part of the plate. Sliders and cut fastballs. Try to pull anything against him, it's going to be a very difficult at bat.
2-0 on Petit. Bottom of the ninth, 3-3 game. Indians scored 3 in the top half off that man, Houston Street. Fastball in for a called strike, 2-1. Ball 3. Petit draws a walk. Angels with runners on first and second with 1 out.
Francona looking on. You always hear Calhoun Trout pulls as far as the Angels in these key spots, but Escobar's hit the ball as well as anybody on this team this entire season. Again, that swing he has on a cut fastball away should play in that swing path he has and creates hitting the ball to right center field. 6 career walk-off hits for Escobar.
0 for 3 with a walk tonight. Runners on first and second. Ryan at second, and Petit over at first. Ball 1-2, Escobar as Shaw misses low and away. Trout looming. Calhoun on deck. Then Trout.
That indoor cut fastball, but off the plate in. More just to show something on the inner half of the plate before going right back outside again.
(2-0) from Shaw. Bounce foul back behind third. Ryan. Petit. Got 2-1. Escobar fouls it off. Now 2-2.
Cleveland's bullpen is solid ERA out of the bullpen, 3.39, which is 6th best in the American League in that category. So not only do they have that good starting pitching, but the bullpen solid also.
A bloop, right center. Here comes Ryan. The Angels win 4-3.
Boy, it's kind of apropos the way the Angels have scored some runs in this game. Off the end of the bat, a cut fastball breaks the bat and flares it into the outfield for a walk-off hit. Escobar just put it in play and brings home Brendan Ryan, who picked up his first hit as an Angel, scores the winning run.
A wild finish.
Yes,
as
runs
the
there.
Indians score 3 in the top of the ninth, and then the Angels come back and win it in the bottom of the ninth. Angels' 5-game losing streak comes to an end. The final score from Anaheim, 4-3 Angels, coming up next on FS1 NHRA qualifying. For Mark Gubiza and our entire FS1 crew, I'm Kenny Albert. Good night from Anaheim.